Hello guys, welcome to another episode of our backtesting series. And as you know how this goes, we just give it a 1 hour timer, and after 1 hour, all the trades that have been taken are going to be logged on our logbook here. And if there are no trades taken within 1 hour, that will be that. So that means within the period of time for this particular instrument that we'll be looking at, there was no trade. But if, for instance, within 20 minutes we have already reached 5 trades, so we have taken 5 trades, the outcome doesn't matter whether win or loss or break even. As long as you have taken 5 trades, it will be over for this particular episode. So at the end of that, we are going to see how many hours we are able to make and how we are able to perform in that particular period of time, right? So do understand that this is a backtesting series, and this why it doesn't actually really simulate what happens in the live market, because in the live market there are still a lot of instances that might come in which can be out of the market, right? So you might be having personal issues and all of that, and you might see a trade that you could have easily taken here, but then in real time you're having personal issues, maybe breakup or something that puts you off, and you didn't see that trade, right? So this doesn't totally indicate what will actually happen at that period, but this is what will actually happen on the chart if you were very, 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 very active, right? So the pair we are going to be looking at today is going to be USDJPY, right? So as you know how we do it, I'm going to click on the back testing and we are going to randomize this. As long as it's not beyond 2010, we are fine. So randomize and wait for that to load. Yeah. The date here, this is 2021, right? 2021. What do we have here for us in 2021? So what we can see from the monthly is that there is a lot of bullish momentum here on the monthly. So from the month of March and the month of April, bullish momentum on both of them. I'm expecting price on May to continue that bullish momentum to the upside. That's number one. And then number two, what I can see here is that we have this level, right? So we have this level here, which price has spiked above one, spiked above twice, and then we try to breach that level. We came back below that level again. So if price is to pull back up and hit this level, I will become a seller. So I will change my bias from buy, right, to sell. And why I'm buying is because of this momentum candle. You can see that this candle, although it's closing bearish, it closed bearish, we still have a lot of bullish momentum coming in, right? So we are looking to play that into this before we can start to sell. Any other thing that we can spot here that is actually interesting? I would say this, right? So this monthly support, but price I will already use that here, and we are looking to buy. So since we are looking to buy this thing, this level here is not, it's not actually that important because we're already looking to buy. Even if price comes back to this level, we are still looking to buy. So I'll just take that off. And then down to the weekly, let me mark out the following months, which is going to be June. Because if we, I'm doing this because if we go to the weekly, this price action here, right, like this candle is not closed yet, right? This candle is going to continue. So I'm saying what I'm saying based off of this candle, because this might have a week or two left before it closes. So what we are playing is off this candle. And once this candle closes, then we can start to play off this candle. That's why I'm putting this here. So down into the weekly. So yeah, you can see we have 1 and 2 weeks left to go. Let me toggle off all of these things here. Events. Yeah. Right. So what we can see on the weekly is in that weekly grid, price have tried to breach this low. So we tried to breach that low and we came back above that low. And then we had this week where price failed to continue the momentum that it's actually started here, right? So price started a bullish momentum here, and we couldn't continue that into this particular week. Okay, so what I can see here is that price is still relatively bullish, right? So it's still bullish, even though this thing happened, price is still bullish. And if we can take this from A to B, right, drag this from here to here, you can see that we have a fib, right? We have a fib that runs from this low, not this low, let's say this low to this. Let's put it at this low, from this low to this high, and price has failed to reach that fib level, but we are still stuck on that weekly grid area, right? So I don't think this fib is actually important for now. What I will be looking out for is how does this particular week close. So let's see if this week is closing the way it is now, or is there any other price action on the daily that we might try to play this move off from, right? So if you go into the daily, I just want to see how that price close. So here we have this Wednesday, right? So that's Wednesday, and on this particular week, we are looking to reverse price to the upside. And you can see that price have on Tuesday retested this level, right? So since price have retested that level, it's showing us that okay, this level is very important, and it's have rejected it the previous week and have rejected it again. So we're looking to buy as long as price is staying above this level. We're looking to buy. And with that being said, we also have this daily here, trying to make sure that it's a very important level. Okay, not that daily. We have this daily. Okay, yeah, we have this daily here. So this daily head price here, held price here, head price here, and also held price here on Tuesday. So what I'm looking for is price continuation to the upside, and you can see that on Wednesday price have already made that push bullish. So with this on Thursday, I don't really see this as a very strong bullish push. So I will be expecting price to retest from this area before we can see that move to the upside. Another thing I can point out here is that you have this, right? So we have this level which price have tried to break, came back into that level, tried to break again, came back into that level, rejected, and then rejected from the low. So that means this price, this particular candle here has become our range, right? So we now have a range high and a range low, and we are looking to trade between the range high and we are looking to buy the range low and sell the range high. We are not looking to trade in between the range high and range low, right? So that's what I'm looking at on this particular week, right? So if we don't get anything to the before the close of that week, then we have to revise our options. So here, what we can see is we've already hit that low. We have pushed away from it, right? So we have the initial low here. Price pushed, price came back, price made a lower high. So a higher low, sorry. So we have higher low, we have higher low here as well. What I want to point out here, even though we are not looking to sell the we are not looking to trade within this range. If price fails to make uh, a new a new low, right? So let's say if price pulls back, right, to this point, fails to make a new low, and then we have a momentum bust to the upside, we're going to buy this thing to the upside. But then if we start to take out this low, then we will be watching for potential entries here. All right. So that's what we'll be looking at. And I'll be looking at these lows. So let me put this low high as sorry, low, higher low. So let's see how that plays out. You can see price have already done the business. Okay. So price have already done the business. What's is what's interesting here is that on the CD 17. Okay. So on the 4 hour, we already had an option to enter for our trade. which is here. So after price has hit this level and also hit this range low, right? So we had this shooting star coming, and we also have this engulfing of this particular candle. So this is actually where you enter for your buy, place your stop loss there. So since we're having higher low, if price can pull back to this area, right? As long as it fails to make a new low, we are still in this trade. So that's what I was looking at. That's what I was looking for price to pull back down to make a new higher low, so we can start to buy this, right, to this particular level. But it didn't do that. So we still have no issues with that. This particular setup is gone. So we are now looking out for something else. I don't know why my internet is lagging. I have to go and fix that. Right, so now we have exploded to the upside massively, and we have taken out this range high. So what I'm expecting now is for price to continue this bullish movement till we are able to get to these highs, right? So once we're able to hit these highs, we can now reverse our bias into bearish, just like I said. So let's see what happens for tomorrow. The next, sorry, not tomorrow, the next day, what I'm looking out for is these levels here. Right, we have the range high, and we also have this particular high where the wicks of the candles have failed to break above. Right, so I'm looking for price to hit that level and give us that opportunity to start to buy. And my target, if we start to buy this, my target is going to be, I don't want to place a huge target there. Right, my target is going to be this monthly level. So once we hit that monthly level, I'll be out. I don't think price is going to get here. Maybe. So let's see how that plays out. With this particular setup, the moving average is going to play a very key role because we are already trending. So we need the moving average to come in to serve as our support level. So the dynamic support is very, very much needed in this scenario. So what I'm looking for is price to pull back and hit this moving average while also hitting this level, giving us an engulfing or a shooting star for us to start buying. Another thing I want to point out is that since we had an engulfing on the daily, a very strong engulfing on the daily, um, this looks likely. This looks likely maybe I'm looking for potential last low pre-breakout, right? So where is the last low pre-breakout of this entire area? So you can see this is the last low pre-breakout. But then if you check on the 4 hour and try to draw our fee, because we always use the 4 hour to measure potential retracement of where we are going to plot our fee from. We're going to use the 4 hour. That means our fee is going to be from here to all the way to that high, right? So if that's the case and that is going to be our fee, then we cannot use this um as our low pre-break to trade. Where we can use our low pre-break is here, and if price starts to drop here, that means it's dropping back into the middle of the range, which is actually which actually makes sense. It actually makes sense that price might drop into the middle of that range, and we have it's 1.8800 here. No, so we go for 1.8900, which is very, very close to the level that we are using. But then the major things we are looking at is here and here, right? So we just keep this in mind. The engulfing is too huge, so price might not even attempt to get this low if the trend is still strong. And so that's the end of the day. Nothing happened throughout the day. Price just played around, and yeah, so there's no need for this level again, and that's the end of the week. So this Friday, the end of the week. We're just looking for price to retest this. If price can retest this, we are going to buy. The moving average is no longer needed for now because price have already crossed over to the upside. Now we can see that breakdown into that level. Right, 5, 9. There's nothing we can do at this point because price is not giving us anything reasonable. Right, but what we can now do with this information here is we can go to the 1 hour time frame and see how price structure is building up. Right, so if you're able to see price making high lows, high lows, high lows, since we're looking for buys, then is advised to for us to enter that trade. So you can see here we had high lows here, right? So this body, candles body here, we had this candle body low, and then price here, the candles body here couldn't take out those ones. Even though the wicks took out this particular week, the bodies didn't, right? So it's still a valid higher low for me. So if I can, what I'm looking at is if price attempts to make a new low and then momentum comes in, I'll be looking to buy. So let's see how that plays out. That's it for the week. Just take this back. That's it for the week. It's no longer valid as well. So now we go to the weekly and see what has happened. So what has happened is that price has maintained our initial intention to buy from this level. And now we're looking for that continuation into the final weeks of the month. No, sorry, not the final weeks of the month, into the next 2 weeks. So I'm looking for that continuation to go and hit this level. So if I go back to the daily and see where we are, so where we are on the daily, and what I can see on the daily is that price, this particular level here, this range is no longer an option for us at the moment because we are now playing. Okay, so yeah, we can leave that level. Right, we can use the this level here, and also work with this one as well. Right, so that's what we'll be looking out for. Price is below this level, but still above this because I'm using this because price failed to take out that level. Right, it's totally failed to take out that level till this point. So this is like a random retest of that initial high. So going down to the 4 hour, I'm looking for price on the daily to pull back into this, hit this level, and then we can start to move to the upside. Let me check the week one more time. Okay. If you can hit that level on that daily level on the 4 hour, we are good to go. We are good to buy this particular one. All right. So and another thing is that if on the daily we are able to roll back above this particular level, then this level becomes valid for us, and this one is no longer needed. So let's see how that plays. I will still have this level here. I will still have this level here because this is the support area that we're looking to. So what I'm looking for is for price to just retest this level and give me a solid engulfing or shooting star. Is it shooting star? No, hammer, right? An engulfing on or a hammer to this to the upside, then I can become a buyer there. Sorry, the internet is lagging. The internet is lagging. Is quite frustrating. Right, so nothing actually happened that meets our standard. So we leave that alone. It has moved a lot. Moved a lot. We go back. Okay. Guys, give me a few minutes. Let me fix my internet. I'll be back. So yeah, I think it's better now. We already have 20 minutes gone in this video, and we are yet to see an entry. Yet to see an entry yet. And these two levels are no longer important for us, so we delete both. Then what are we looking at? What are we looking out for? I'll still keep this level, right? Why am I keeping this level is because after this closure, price on the next day might still run back above this. So if price runs back above this level, we can get that retest and continuation. But that's if it does. What I'm looking for now is for this particular play here, a fib play. So if you can run into this fib, I will be a buyer in this fib. Why? Because we are already bullish on the weekly. So this can come in as a retracement. And fib retracements are one of the best retracement instruments there. So yeah, that's what I'll be looking at. But if see, as long as we don't get a close below, a candle close below this level, right, I will still be interested in looking for buys. So we'll go into the 4 hour and see how price enters that fib area and see what we can do with that information. We'll go ahead and delete this, and I will mark out this level as my buy level. So I'm waiting for price to come into that fib, and then we can go in for buys if the opportunity presents. We're in fib right now. So what I'm doing here now is I'm going to go down to the 1 hour because I can see the price is now hitting like it came into that level and it just paused, right? So I'll go into the 1 hour and see what price is trying to play at, right? Because if you look at this now, we are slowing down and price is now making potentially is now making try to make, so you can see price made the low, came up, made a higher low, came up, and then took out that particular higher low. So that means this particular entry is not yet ready. It's not yet ready for us. So we need price to actually stay above every single low it makes. So we are now entering into a new day. And what I'm expecting for the new day is for price to still stay within this area and then give us a potential entry option so we can buy this thing back to the upside here. Let's see how that plays out. Right, so here you can see we have 1, 2, 3, and then we have the engulfing here. I will be buying this engulfing. So this will be midnight. You have to wake up midnight to take this particular trade, which is okay. I'll do that. My initial target is going to be that high. Let's see how that plays out. Very strong reaction there. Very, very strong reaction there. Oh, sorry. So how are we going to count this? What I will be counting this as? I'll be counting this as break even, right? So I'll be counting this as break even. Why? Because of the way this candle closed. If you are a buyer, right, and you see price do this, you should just get out of the trade. Right. So what you can see here is that price is coming down, right? So price is coming down, and we have lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Price runs down, you get your entry. Price runs all the way. You can see the strength of this movement, which gave us almost 2 hours, right? So price runs all the way to this high and failed to take out this high before doing this. Right. So once this thing happens, once something like this happens, it's not like it's mechanical where you say, okay, you enter your trade and you just leave your trade to play out. You have to look at things, right? And you have to understand what price is trying to do. So with this happening here, we just move our stop loss. What I will do is either I decide to close this, but closing this doesn't actually give you anything because it's already at M3. So I'll just put stops to break even, and you can see we just got taken out there, right? So that would be the first trade break even, right? BE break even, and we lost 0 hour. We break even and we lost 0 hour. This is 9 o'clock and this 13. I would have said, okay, let me enter at this, right, at this reversal here. But this candle is very, 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 very huge, right? This is very, very huge. I don't really want to take that particular trade there. So I'll wait for price to come back potentially to give us another entry. Yeah, that's basically what I will do. Can't be able to take that trade. The candle is too much. Right? But then we can see that we have that reaction, very strong reaction from the fib level, right? Like I said, we're looking to see a potential reaction from this fib, and you can see we had that reaction, right? So now what I'm looking at and what I'm looking out for, if I can delete this, and my level is going to be this one. What I'm now looking out for is for price to, because we are engulfing this thing now. We are engulfing the prior candle. So for price to give me a low pre-break setup for me to take this buy to this particular high. So how am I going to approach that? I'm going to approach that by simply plotting a fib from here to here. Right, plotting a fib from here to here. I'm going down to the 1 hour to see where I can potentially enter. Also, I will be mindful of psychological levels because they're going to play a very key role into this. And here you can see there is no low pre-break. So price just hit the highs, dropped to the lows, and went back to the highs. So this is just a very ugly scenario. But still, this is the high we are looking for. We are looking out for price to take. So once price can be able to take out this high, right? If you are able to take out this high, this is going to be our low price to break out. Delete this. Our low price to break out, and we have 1.8900. We have 1.8900 here, and then we have 1.9. So I'll be looking at that 109. So not 1.9. Sorry, so 109. So I'll be looking for price to come back to hit 109. And if you're hitting 109, we should also be taking in our our entry here. But another thing I would want to point out, because our fib level is the most important factor in this particular play, right? So if a fib is showing us that there is a particular level below, we should not be taking the ones above, right? So that means this level is the major level that we should be looking at for. And the psychological level that we should be working with instead is going to be 1.800. So sorry, not 1.8, 108 800. Right, so you can see that level is a bit below. And if you are going to take this entry, it's going to be here. Sorry, it's going to be here, and then my stop loss here is going to be under that level. That is the target. So let's see how that plays out. And on the daily as well, on the daily, because price is already strong bullish, right? So price is strongly bullish. We will be looking for, because this might not come in, right? Price might not retrace all the way to this point to give you an entry. So what I'll be looking for is for the moving average to give us something. So we have 109.00. Okay, 109.100 here. We have 109 00. We have 108.900 as well. So I'll be very, very interested in this particular number, which is 109.00, right? So let's leave out the 800s, the 900s, in this particular way. Let's just use the zero zeros, the 500s only, right? Because they are the most important ones. So I'll be looking at this 10900 for potential entry using the moving average. So let's see where the moving average is at this point. I'm sure the moving average is going to be confused. The moving average is going to be well confused at this point. So yeah, this is where the moving average is. Can we come into this area and hit that moving average? Oh, this internet is killing me. You can see how fast, how look at how fast price moved down, right? Price moved down this fast. We still don't have our entry yet. But this entry is not going to be valid while we have not broken any structure, right? So if you look at this on the 1 hour, we have not broken this structure yet. We need a break of structure for that level to be valid to us. And we didn't break any structure, and moving average has been ripped apart. So we are just going to sit on our hands at this point, right? We're just going to sit on our hands and see if price can do anything within the um intraday. I think I'm doing a lot of explaining than trading because I'm not getting any reasonable setup. We've come to the end of the day. I don't know why this internet keeps doing this. I actually changed my router because of this internet issue, and we are still having the same issues again. What is going on with Nigerian communication service? So it's now looking likely that we are not going to go bullish on this week. We're still fine because we are yet untouched. Right, so it's looking very likely that price is going to continue down. Okay, but then I will still be I will still be wary of this level because this level is still very important. It's still very important. I have not been taken out yet, right? This daily, right? It held price all the way here, and also even with this drop here, this huge drop also came into that level. So Friday might still rush into that level before you can get a reversal. But it's very unlikely that we are going to see Friday reversing from that level. It's quite unlikely, but it's not impossible, right? It's not impossible. It's just unlikely. So if he comes into that level, we have this area for no no. Have this area for potential buy, right? Let's see. Getting closer. And just reversed. All right. It just reversed mid air. Reversed mid air. So there's nothing we can do about this particular price for now, and this is the end of the week for us. We're going into the new week, so you can see that basically on an entire month on USDJPY, we are still yet to find a very reasonable trade that we can take for an entire month. This is why in swing trading you need more instruments to look at. If not, you are going to frustrate yourself and you're not going to see trades. You really need a lot of discipline to be able to trade as a swing trader. So that's why you need hobbies to keep you distant from the charts for the time that you are not going to be trading. And that's the end of the week there. I'll delete this. I'll still leave this thing. And then go to the weekly. See what we have on the weekly. So what do we have here on the weekly? It has just been ranging. My price has just been up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay, and we are heading into the final week of the month, right? The final week of the month, and what I am looking out for on this particular week, let's say this weekly highs, a weekly grid high. What I'm looking out for on this particular week is, are we going ahead and place this over here? I just taking a glance at that and seeing that we are off by few levels, because this is the a level that price held here, and also you can see where the bodies are. You can see how accurate that is, and also this pin here. It's like a weekly range. So what I'm expecting is for price to drop into this range low. So if you can drop into this range low, then I'll be looking for buy to the upside. Right? As long as we are trading below this area, right? As long as we're trading below this area, I'm not interested. I want to be only interested if we are still above this area for this particular week, and I'm looking for buy still. Let's go into the weekly. Sorry, let's go into the daily. And what we have is still the same thing that we are looking for. So I'm looking for price to come into this level and also hit this, so I can be interested in any buy option. 4 hour. See how that daily plays out. My level in place, just in case it decides to run into that level. So we have Monday gone, and we're into Tuesday. Come on, we hit that level. I was trying to hit the pause button. I was trying to hit the button, but it's I mistakenly hit this play button instead of leaving this. Right. And I wanted to pause that because of what I saw on this particular candle. So what I saw on this candle is that you can see this level that I talked about on the daily, that we need to hit this level on the daily first, and also we need to hit this weekly. So when price hit that level, although it didn't straight back into this area, we had this area there where we had the buyers coming in. So price entered that level, hit this area one, hit this area one and area two, and then push all the way back up to this point. So this particular candle here for me is a shooting star. Sorry, a hammer. Even though you have a lot of it to the upside, but the momentum that it took price to drag itself back from this lows back up to this point, even if it made a high, it's still very, very important for me, and I still value that as a buy option. Right? So this is where I will buy my stop loss there, and then my target is still at these daily highs. We also have a weekly here, so we should be watching out for what price does on this weekly area. Right? If price stays like find it difficult to take out that weekly area, then we are probably going to come down. Go back to break even. This is a new day. Let's see how that looks. Oh, very disgusting. It looks very, 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 very disgusting on the daily. And this is the type of type of daily candles that I don't like to hold. I don't like to play in this particular region because price is indecisive. So I wouldn't want to be stuck in that particular in this particular trade. It might still go higher, right? But I'm not going to be in this trade. I will be closing this particular trade. So let's say the closure is going to be here. This is where I will close, right? So I'm going to close that because of this indecision. So the second trade we had, trade number two, is it a win? I'll call it a break even, right? A break even and a 0.26 hour win, 0.25 anything. So what I'm now looking at in this particular scenario is I'm keeping my eye on the 4 hour here. Right, I'm keeping a very very close eye on the 4 hour. Reasons being is that we have higher low here, right? We also have higher low here as well. Okay. So if the bodies of this candle, because now I think we are now playing it body, right? So if the bodies of this particular move down does not close below here, I'm looking to go for that bullish movement, right? Once we get a solid push that tells us that price wants to take out this, I wants to take out this high, I'll be going in for that buy. Okay, we've got something and I'm interested in that. So buy. My stop loss is going to be below here because if you start rolling back down to this low that our price has made, there's no need. It's going to take us out. So this will be my trade based off on higher low. So I expect price to make a higher high. And we made a higher high there. We now come to the end of the day. Right. Can now go to the daily, see. So even if we held that initial buy trade, we still be in profit. But I can't do that. I can't play that particular trade. It's very very risky. So we've now run up solidly bullish, and we have 10900, right? So 10900 as our psychological level. Now we can see price drop into there and then run to the upside. So that's a level that I am well interested in, right? I'm well interested in that level. We have I can see here again is that we have range low. So we have this range here as a range low, we have this range as range high, and we're able to get this particular trade running, even though it's not on the low of the range or maybe on the high of the range. Just notice how price stalled here and started making this movement. And we also on this particular day, after we took this trade, we closed that trade and price hit this level again before we took our high low buys, right? So since this is a range trade, right? So price is still in the range. I'm not going to be looking for this. I'm not going to be looking for that till we hit the range highs. We can just play this on the daily instead of going down to the 4 hour. And boom, we hit our take profits 1900. So we take profit there. Very, very clean and quick trade. You lose quick here, but in real life, it's not that quick. So this is actually we have 5, and then on Wednesday, on Thursday 5. So this 1 day. So this is like a day and 4 hours. Our third trade, we have a win, and we made 5.36 R, 5.36%, right? So it's going pretty well. It's going pretty well for us at this particular point. I also remember how we took this trade higher low on the bodies. The bodies couldn't close here. We had this bullish movement that was indicating to us that price could actually come in to make a higher high. So that's how we took this trade, and price made a higher high and hit take profit. Remove those things. So now on the daily, even though price has made this energetic move, it's still not done yet, right? One of the issues that I have in the past is that I'll see price make this sort of moves, right? And I will say, okay, price is done. And what will happen is the next day we just open, retest our level, or retest the moving average, and still continue. And I've missed that particular trade, right? So this particular trade is still we still have another option here to take a trade. We have about 15 minutes left on this, and it's looking good. We already have a couple of trades already. So we are looking for that retest into this level and continuation. Any round numbers that we can work with, you know. So retest into that level and we continue. Also, if it decides to drop down into 9,500 here, I'll still be happy with that. I'll still take that trade. I'll delete this weekly. And remember what we're looking at. We're looking for this level to be hit. That's our overall take profit. So the moving average is going to be in play here. Let's see where the moving average is at. Still far. So that's what we are going to be working with. And we are going to be keeping an eye on 109,500. Let's see. And also we are entering Friday. So if anything is going to happen, it should happen now. Okay. And boom. So that's it. That's it for the week. And this is no longer important to us. The moving average is no longer important to us. So now what are we seeing on the weekly time frame? So on the weekly time frame, very, very straightforward. We are still bullish, and now we are having you can see that we have an engulfing here, a weekly engulfing. So that with that engulfing, I'm looking to play this up to these highs. So we should also plan for the sell, right? We should be planning for the sell setup that's about to come in. And the sell setup is about to come in once we hit here. So if price hit that level, how do we sell? First and foremost, if you're looking for a reversal, which is a grid reversal, a monthly grid reversal, we should be aware of liquidity, where liquidity is, because liquidity is what is going to indicate a potential area for us to reverse from. If price doesn't take out liquidity, it's very likely not going to react, not going to reverse. Right. So if you're taking any trade on the weekly, on the monthly grid reversal, and there's no liquidity, you're going to get caught. All right. So I'm looking for that liquidity. This could have been our liquidity, but on top of that, after that liquidity, there is no reversal point. There's no grid. There's no weekly grid reversal points where we can enter to reverse. Right. So that means we have to go for this level, right? If price can take out this level, or if price runs into this and give us a momentum close on the weekly, that's how we can sell. For now, there's no grid to actually sell on the weekly time frame. But then into the new months, we are still biased into the new months. So with that being said, we have, like I said before, we have weekly engulfing. So with that weekly engulfing, we are looking to buy the low pre-break on a 4 hour time frame. So now we have the range high, range low, price have broken out of the range. Can we get price run back into the range to pick up orders and run out of the range? Where do we look to see price pick up orders potentially? This level, right on the fib. Right, so this is right on the money here. So we have the fib one, and we have there's no psychological level for me there. Unless you can do 200. I don't think 200 is very strong, but you can still use that as an option. But then the fib is already playing a very crucial role for this potential reversal. And my entry for this is going to be there. My stop loss under this level. Take profit back to this high. Back to that high. To this, take profit to this high or this weekly high. So that's where I would take my profits. Let me make sure. Let me make sure that that weekly high is important. Right. So here is important. Let's see how the entry goes, the trade goes. Also, also, if you're looking at the daily for the new week, that level that I marked out might not actually price might not actually come into this area. So what might come in is that we reject this high because this high is still in play. We reject this high and then we can continue. So we should also keep an eye on that on the 4 hour time frame. Potential rejection of this high. And if you are rejecting that high, we already have this area as our entry area. Okay, so now we're into that level. And it looks like things are changing up here on the monthly time frame because this is 1 day left for the monthly time frame to close and price have already dropped this far. So if you go back to the monthly now, you can see that everything has changed. Right, so we have a little change from what was actually intended, but it's still in our favor as bullish. Right, so we are still favoring this bullish momentum or bullish move. And then on the weekly, we are still bullish. So we are still looking for that particular um buy. And this weekly level here, right, is a very good weekly level, which is a resistant broken turn support. So it's still okay. And then on the daily, price is just going down. And this level is no longer valuable or delete it. Then we see how price plays out within this our fib. So we're actually only dealing with the fib movements here and also the low pre-break. We currently don't have any daily grids to work with. Let's play and see. So you can see that price is just on that weekly level that's I indicated. Price just played around on that weekly, and then we're moving up. But I'm not interested in that weekly because that weekly level is not an area that we see value in. There's no valuable option in that area. So it's very much likely that this particular setup will not come true. Right? And then what I'm seeing now is another engulfing. So we have an engulfing on Wednesday into Thursday. Let me make sure that this is closed. Oh, it's not closed. So we play that till we close this. 15913. So this is the closure of that particular day. That means there is no engulfing. And I'm still expecting price to come into my my level, my entry there, if it can. So we're 56 minutes into this video, and this is going to be our final our final option. And okay, here's what I see. Here's what I see. So we have higher lows here, higher low here. Price has pulled down all the way to this point, but created a higher low again, and price is rushing back up to this level. So with that, I'll be happy to buy this, as I'm expecting price to make a new high. Right, so I'm expecting price to make a new high, and that will be our target. This price is not interested in going down. So can we make a new high? Boom, we have made a new high. Price hit target. So we've now hit our monthly overall target. So the trade number 4 is a win, and a 3.0 hour win, 3.06 hour win. It's nice. So with that comes we've now come to the end of our of this particular series. So the highlights of this particular episode. Sorry, I said we've now come to the end of this particular series. We now come to the end of this particular episode, and the highlights of this episode is actually high low entries, which have actually played out very very nice. Okay, so with this particular trade now, this particular trade, you can still move these targets up to this point if you intend to do that. Okay, you can do that because this is the weekly target. But I'm not going to do that. Why? Because we are already hitting this monthly, and I've made enough, which is 3R. There's no need to try to catch this entire move. If you have a very 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 large position, right? So you can still take out some money here and then wait for price to hit this level and take out some money. But if you are just trying to grow an account, just take your profit there. And if you play this on to see if it reached that level or not, as the price started to react from that area, you can get a bust. You shouldn't be looking at okay, here you can see how you can see what happens. Price have fully melted back down. Right. So if you're holding this trade and you're looking for that target, you will have lost money, right? So let's say you move this thing to break even, and you had price give you 3R and you're looking for 6R. You've lost everything that you made. That's why it's very, very important to know exactly where you are going to take your profit. And you can see this level. that I marked out here is not random. Not a lot of people use this particular strategy. I don't think anyone uses this particular strategy that I trade because I actually taught myself how to do all of this. And you can see that this particular level here, the way I marked out this level, a lot of people don't actually mark their levels out in this manner. That means a lot of people would have lost this trade if they are looking for higher targets. But then the main target that someone will be looking out for is this. You don't even need to go that far, right? You don't even need to go this far. But since these are our monthly area, this is the monthly area that we're looking to reverse price. Remember what I said, we're looking for price to reverse from this monthly area, and look at what's happened. It's reversed from that monthly area on Thursday into Friday. So that means we now have the initiative to go short on the following week, because the weekly now, you can see that the weekly is, you can see how strong the weekly closed. So we're expecting now for the next weekly candle for us to sell down to the lows. Okay, right. So this is where we draw the costing for this episode, and we actually made let's do the math. Let's do the math here. We made 5.36 plus 3.06 plus 0.25. Let's say 25. We made 8.67% on this particular session, and um we started playing this from, I think, this area. We started playing this from the 10th of May. So from 10th of May, that's 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, yeah, and then on the fourth week here. So this is like a month of price action, and we've made 8% on that particular month. So if you're looking at other pairs, let's say you have 5 to 6 pairs you're looking at, you might still accumulate some profits here and there on other pairs. So joining that together, you can see that you are very, very profitable for the month. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. Also, given the fact that this particular system allows you to trade freely. So remember that we're looking at 4 hour time frames, 4 hour time frame, 4 hour time frames, and we're able to go through only 4 trade opportunities in 1 month, right? And has zero losses. So you looking at 4 hour time frames, that means you're basically not trading. You're not basically not glued at your screen all day, right? And you have time to do other things while you are still catching your trades. So that's the beauty of this particular trading system. If you're interested in joining us, the link to our course is in the bio, and I hope to see you there. Take care.